How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Set 6, and today we're just going to do a quick one. We're going to briefly talk about the Game Awards and what we could see. So, like the video, subscribe for future content, but let's crack on. Now, I don't have a huge amount of time today, and I'm currently having some work done on the roof, so if you hear any banging or weird noises, that's probably that. I apologise. But we're going to briefly talk about some possibilities for tonight. Obviously, we've got all the awards and stuff like that, and you know, up until the award season started a couple of months ago, I was reasonably confident that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was going to run away with it, but with everything that's happened over the last month-ish, with all the different varied game awards, I'm a little bit less confident. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Rebirth will win a fair bit. I'm hopeful it gets Game of the Year. I really hope it gets it, because I feel like it deserves it, but we'll see. We'll have to see what happens. But there is the possibility for other announcements, maybe. You never know. Other announcements. And I've seen people talking about things on Twitter and on YouTube, so I figured we'll just quickly touch on them. But honestly, there's not that much to touch on if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I mean, starting off with Rebirth, we've already been told repeatedly that there is not going to be any DLC, so I wouldn't look for any DLC. I've seen a few people saying, oh, maybe we'll get some FF7 Rebirth DLC. That's not going to happen. I mean, I will be amazed if it does happen. I hope it does happen. You know, I kind of want a Vincent DLC. I think that'd be really cool. But it's not looking likely. So, yeah. I'd get your hopes completely adjusted if you're thinking we're going to get some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth DLC announcements tonight. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I'm probably not. But then that brings us to the long-term elephant in the room, which is this leaked Final Fantasy IX remake that has not had any kind of official announcement or confirmation from anybody, but has been spoke about a lot by people who claim to know that it is in development. So, we had a leak, but no official word, but then rumours saying, yeah, it's a thing, trust me. And I was one of the people that was on board with the FF9 remake and the leak, and the Tactics remaster. I was pretty confident that this was going to be a thing after everything else kind of happened that was on that leak. But the longer time frame between that leak and any kind of announcement, the more doubtful I'm getting that it's a thing. And you've got to think, given Square Enix recently were talking about how a lot of things didn't hit expectations, a lot of games hadn't performed as well as they were hoping they would perform, and that due to this they were going to scale back on a few things. Maybe Final Fantasy IX Remake as a concept ended up being one of the things that got scaled back on. Now that'd depend massively on how much work has already gone into such a remake if it were to exist. If they've already done like 50% of the work on a Final Fantasy IX Remake, it makes it less likely it's going to get canned. Still possible, but less likely. Whereas if they were still in the very early stages of kind of speculating about what the game could be like, what kind of battle system they were going to go with, how they were going to do the world, you know, the very early stages, it wouldn't really cost them a massive amount to be like, okay, we're going to drop this, we might come back to it in the future, but for now, we're going to drop it. So that's been the thing that's been concerning me about the Final Fantasy IX remake. Of all of the games, I feel like Final Fantasy IX needs the remake the most, purely because Final Fantasy IX runs like shit, in my opinion. Like, the game itself just runs really badly, and it hinders the experience, so a remake would hopefully rectify that. So yeah, for me, it's the one that probably needs it the most. I mean, 8 would be enjoyable, but 9 needs it. 8, you can go back and play Final Fantasy VIII and it runs just fine. Whereas Final Fantasy IX, you go back and play that, it's got frame rate issues, it's got slow animations going into combat. There are definitely things that could be fixed about Final Fantasy IX. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at the minute. I'm very hopeful that it's still a thing, and I believe that it was a thing at some point. But I also think it's possible that maybe due to things underperforming outside of Final Fantasy IX Remake, maybe it's been pushed back, maybe it's been canned entirely. So yeah, I think there is a chance that we'll hear about it at the Game Awards tonight, that or the Tactics remaster. But I also kind of feel like if we don't hear anything about them tonight, then maybe we need to just give up on it for a bit. I think it's potentially more likely that we'll hear something about Kingdom Hearts 4 or something like that, rather than Final Fantasy IX Remake at this point. Am I just being doubtful? Let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. Do you think that the FF9 Remake still exists, ever existed? Do you think we'll hear anything about it tonight at the Game Awards? Let me know in the comments below. like the video, subscribe for future content, but more importantly than all of that, have a great day.